Hi, this is Peter Sage, and I just want to say a quick hi for my message of the week this week, brought to you from the gorgeous Himalayas up here high in the mountains on the Indian side of the mountain range. And it's important to take time out every now and again just to really ground yourself and really get a sense of what's real. And that kind of kicks off my theme this week because one of the things I want to talk about is identity. Identity governs everything about who we are and how we feel about ourselves. And unfortunately, most of us come up with disempowering identities. One of the questions I could ask you, for example, to make you think is, who are you without your name? Who are you without your name? You see, we get so attached to different identities. And when I said it governs most of our behavior, for example, why do vegetarians not eat meat? It's not because they have different teeth. It's because their identities, I am a vegetarian. Why do runners run? And they get angsty if they don't run for a couple of weeks. I've got the same two legs that you and I have. It's because their identities, I am a runner. Now, we all have various different levels of identity. We have identity of a parent or a spouse or say, husband, father, or entrepreneur or employee, or all of that kind of stuff. And all of the identities that we assume, consciously or otherwise, tend to govern most of our behavior. Now, the funny thing is, most people set themselves up when it comes to wanting to be happy or joyful or fulfilled with identities that don't support that. I want to be something that I'm not is usually the root of most unhappiness. All stress comes from fighting what is. So in terms of identity, I mentioned, who are you without your name? Well, ultimately, the most powerful words that we have when it comes to identity is I am. Think about it. I am. Full stop. That's it. I am. Everything after those two words is labeled by the mind. I am fat. I am thin. I'm sexy. I'm beautiful. I'm ugly. I'm smart. I'm rich. I'm poor. Whatever it is, whatever comes after the words I am is labeled by the mind. The only two truthful words out of that whole statement are I am. That's it. You don't need anything else after that. And when you can come from a place of understanding that we already have that which we seek, we already are that which we're striving for, it kind of can take the weight off our shoulders. Then we're free to go and get and do whatever we want to do, but we're not doing it to try and reach a place that we don't think we're at. Just something a little deeper to think about this week in a place that inspires deeper thinking. And if you can come up with an identity, because again, my question of the week is who are you? Who are you really? And keep asking that question. And the further and the deeper you ask that question, the more you'll come back to the point of, well, ultimately, I just am. And from there, you can have a level of freedom that gets rid of most of the stress and the day-to-day stuff that tends to impact our level of happiness, joy, and fulfillment, or at least access to those states when we want them. So, what is the most empowering identity that you can come up with yourself, or that the mind can label after those two words, and how does that serve you? Take smoking, for example. Most people who smoke and then quit don't really last that long because they change their identity to I am a smoker who's quit, rather than shift their identity to I am a non-smoker. So if I'm a smoker who's quit and you offer me a cigarette, then there's a willpower there. I want the cigarette, but I've quit. So my mind and my intellect are in conflict. Whereas if I change my identity to that I'm a non-smoker and you offer me a cigarette, it's easy. There's no conflict, there's no stress, there's no pushback. So I simply don't smoke. And so what identities are you governing for yourself or putting on labeling on yourself that can help you become the person that you most want to be or achieve the goals you've set out for this year to do? And what identities are you unconsciously carrying that give you obligations that you're fighting or resisting? Just something to think about this week. Look forward to speaking to you again next week. In the meantime, I'll have some great messages for you throughout the course of the week. And again, appreciate you taking the time, and I can't wait to speak to you soon. Thanks, guys.